After Kayumers, the first king, became a star in the heavens, the world didn't fall silent. A new dawn broke, and with it came a boy king with bright, curious eyes. He took the leopard skin crown and sat upon the stone throne. His name was Hushang, a name that means good choice, good place, good mind. Though he was small, the lions of the mountain already knew him. They'd seen him riding on his grandfather's shoulder, leading the strangest army the world had ever seen. Now, the throne was his, and the earth held its breath, waiting to see what this child would bring. Hushang ruled for 40 years, and with every year, the world grew kinder, more ordered. He taught humanity to channel the power of rivers, digging canals to water thirsty fields instead of letting them drown in floods. He showed them how to tame wild sheep and goats. Every morning, he walked among his people, his own hands touching the earth, planting seeds, laughing with the children. Gained under his gentle rule, small villages blossomed into bustling towns, and those towns began to dream of becoming great cities. One cold winter morning, many years into his reign, Hushang went hunting on the high, snowy slopes of the Alborz Mountains. The air was sharp with the clean smell of ice. Suddenly, from behind a massive rock, a monstrous black serpent rose up. It was longer than 10 men laid end to end. Its eyes burned like fresh blood, and its forked tongue flickered like black flame. The serpent hissed, a sound so terrible the mountains themselves seemed to shiver in fear. At Hushang, the good king did not run. He bent down, picked up a stone the size of his fist, and with all his strength, he hurled it at the creature. The stone flew straight and true, but it missed the serpent's head by a mere finger's breadth. Instead, it struck a larger rock with incredible force. And in that instant, a single tiny spark leaped out. It was bright, alive, dancing in the cold air. The spark landed on a bed of dry leaves, and in a heartbeat, it grew into a tongue of fire. Hushang fell to his knees, utterly mesmerized. He'd never seen anything so beautiful, so terrible, and so full of promise. He carefully gathered the flame, cupping it in his hands like a fragile, frightened bird, and carried this miraculous gift back to his people. That night was the first time men and women ever sat around a fire that did uncome from a destructive lightning strike. They roasted meat, their faces glowing gold in the warm light. They laughed with a newfound joy until the stars themselves seemed to lean in closer just to listen. Hushang named this miracle fire, and he declared a festival that very night to celebrate it. We still honor that night every winter. We call it Sod to the night. We remember how a mist stone gave humanity's greatest and most powerful friend. From that first controlled flame, everything else followed. Blacksmiths learned to heat iron until it glowed like the sun, shaping it into plows for the fields and swords for protection. Potters baked clay into durable bowls. The long, cold nights of winter grew warm and bright, and with the darkness held at bay, the stories people told around the fire grew longer and richer. Hushang lived long enough to see cities of iron and stone rise where only simple tents had once stood. When he finally laid down his crown, he did so with a smile, knowing he had left the world brighter than he found it. The world was now ready for its next king. That king was Tahmuras, son of Hushang, called Demon-Binder, the Demon-Binder. He was tall and silent. His eyes seemed to see things far beyond the sight of ordinary men. When he took the throne, the world was still not entirely safe. The monstrous children of Ahriman, the great evil, still prowled the edges of civilization. They hid in deep caves and dark forests, whispering lies, spreading plagues, and stealing children in the dead of night. Fear once again began to creep into the hearts of men. But Tahmuras did not fear. He put on a coat woven from lion manes and rode out alone to confront the darkness. For 30 long years, he hunted these demons across desolate deserts and treacherous mountains. He fought them with a mace forged from the very first iron that had been shaped in his father's spire. One by one, the demons fell. Some he destroyed, but many more he bound with powerful chains of spell and iron. Finally, only the greatest of the devs remained huge. Winged beasts that breathed smoke and were as proud as fallen stars. They gathered on a plain of black stone and dared Tahmuras to face them. He came, but not alone. He rode a fearsome creature he had already tamed, a monster that was half lion, half dragon. The battle raged for 7 days and 7 nights. On the 7th night, the last demon king finally knelt before him, bleeding pure shadow, and begged for his life. Tahmuras placed his foot upon the demon's neck. His words, recorded in the oldest books, still echo with power: serve or die. The demon king chose to serve. All the captives chose to serve. But Tahmuras didn't just want their servitude. He wanted their secrets. He did something no king had ever imagined. He forced the demons to teach humanity their darkest and brightest arts. From their clawed hands, mankind learned the magic of writing, the skill to trap words on stone and skin so they would never be lost. The very first letters were scratched by demon claws under the watchful eye of a human king. Reading and writing, the twin keys to all knowledge, were gifts stolen from the heart of darkness itself. Tahmuras also forced the demons to teach the art of weaving fine cloth, the secrets of medicine and dyes, and the methods for building with stone that could stand for 1,000 years. When their work was done, he bound them once more and locked them deep beneath the earth, far from the light of the sun they so hated. For 30 gentle years, Tahmuras ruled over a world that now had fire, iron, cities, and the power of the written word. People began to record their history, their laws, their dreams, and their loves. The first books were created thin sheets of leather, covered in strange, beautiful marks that held the voices of those long gone. When Tahmuras finally passed, he did so in peace, knowing that humanity would never again be helpless in the dark. Yet, even as the world grew brighter, a new, more subtle darkness began to grow. Pride in the hearts of kings. The next crown would be placed on the head of Jamshid, the most glorious, the most dangerous, and the most tragic of them all. A king who would build a paradise on earth, and then lose it all with a single, proud sentence. But that is a story for another night. If the discovery of fire warmed your heart tonight, if the thought of a king forcing demons to teach humanity made you shiver, then stay with me. The epic tales of the Shahnameh are calling, and we have only just begun to answer.